All right. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. It's December 5th. Taking a look at NASDAQ, expecting a slow start to the morning, considering we have PCE and MCS coming up at 10 a.m. We did have a little bit of movement here during the overnight sesh. NQ continuing to struggle with that overhead area of resistance, kind of revisiting the higher time frames. This is something we've been talking about all week. So it shouldn't really be new if you've been tuning into the streams. We have a near-term trend higher and price bumping into a major area of supply, major area of resistance with about 3, potentially 4 days of consolidation. So the question today is, with that economic data coming out at 10 a.m., can we see price actually break out of this consolidation? Or are we just going to watch NQ continue to trade between 500 and 750? Time will tell. Time will tell. But game plan for this morning, I'm going to be, depending on what we see here off the open, this looks like potentially an open in no man's land. We still have 5 minutes, but I'll be looking at prior day high as well as the overnight high and the 750 level of interest up through there. Both of these areas, I like to see if buyers can give a break of this zone, maybe an entry versus prior day high, maybe an entry versus overnight high. I would also consider overnight low spring. Otherwise, it's going to be prior day low spring and or 500 level of interest reversal as far as nearby levels. We'll see if any of those materialize before 10 a.m. I'll definitely plan to be cash through 10 a.m. Yesterday ended up being a pretty slow day. We did see one of the main ideas we talked about for yesterday was the 500 reversal, right? And shortly after the stream, we did see that one. And then later in the afternoon, this one's a little bit cleaner here in the afternoon on elevated relative volume as well. Really nice. That's going to be after my cutoff. So not going to trade that one, and actually did not trade this one either. So it just ended up being the one trade that I took on stream yesterday on my end. A very light day. It's been a pretty light week, but that's largely a byproduct of just the current action. I mean, look at this since Monday. Monday was decent, but then Tuesday sideways. Wednesday is like drift higher, and then yesterday it's another inside day. So second consecutive inside day. Not my favorite action. Just happy to be green each one of these days, following my rules. That's all I can ask for. Yes, sir, Gabe. Same page. Same page. Let's see this open here. 10 seconds. Coming into prior day high, just shy of prior day high. There's your opening print, 680. Prior day highs up at 713. Up and through prior day high. Strong open. Good volume off the open. That's good to see. Well, this thing is gone. There's overnight high, 750 level of interest. A little bit of a gap and go this morning. Not a true gap. Technically opened up inside prior day's range. So does this end up being an up thrust, or can buyers hold above? It's always the question. What's ES doing? ES looks like a perfect Tesla overnight high, like to the tick. I see that. Yeah, right to the tick. Opening 5-minute bar still has 90 seconds on it. And volume already fell off, so I need to wait till 10. A.m. news. Yep. MCS and delayed PCE, I believe. If I'm not mistaken. Combo drop, yeah. A little surprised to see PCE during regular trading hours. Normally that's a pre-market print. Shutdown mess things up. Yeah, checks out. So here's a little rejection near overnight high. Note the volume. Might just be a consolidation here near overnight high, near the 750 level of interest till 10. We'll see. Personally, I like to see action above. Being someone that focuses on longs, I like to see price clear all this resistance here in the 750 area. A very slight new high of day being marked. RTY is puking, and ES is in a holding pattern. I gave the overnight high 2 little attempts through there. I'm not going to mess with it anymore, given the volume. Position with basically some very tight microstructure. And what that enables me to do is see if I can capture more of this opening drive upside. But if it doesn't show the immediate follow through, I'm not gonna sit there and babysit it. Just cut it. The idea there is to find basically like a little foothold to capture some momentum. So more than likely just gonna wait till 10 a.m. now. Yeah, 10 a.m. data, MCS and PCE. So more than likely will be probably pretty big market moving. It's more of your retracement. So it ends up just being an overnight high up thrust. Back in a prior day high. I'm not planning on any engagement here. New low of day made there for the old NASDAQ. Uptick in volume, good to see. Yeah, I'm chilling here. This, again, we're getting more clues that this major area of resistance is rejecting. So I want to see some proof of strength. These are always, I talked about this yesterday in the coaching call in the traders think tank. There's always a tricky spots here where you have a trend bumping into a major pivot, trend higher, bumping into a major pivot area. This is where traders will get into trouble. Staying patient right now. When does the clarity come? The clarity will come when this 3-day consolidation resolves. Hopefully with 10 a.m. Hopefully with 10 a.m. data. ES with a little bounce versus prior day high and VWAP. Buyers liking that area. NQ trying to do the same. I have no involvement here, like I said. Game plan right now is wait for 10. Got involved there up near the highs during that consolidation, looking for little foothold, little microstructure area to try and capture more of that opening drive if it was going to continue. Well, we kept it nice and tight there. And you can see exactly why. Just rolls over. Price can mark a new high and then build out some sort of market structure based entry in that same 750, 755 area. I'd be interested in that, depending on what time it materializes. If it's too close to 10 a.m., I'll have to pass. Game plan right now is to be cash through 10. Cash is a position. Yes, sir, Rich. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. ES coming back into highs. Might be giving a clue for NASDAQ. ES a little bit cleaner there at the prior day high with VWAP. See that volume, like 50% of average here? 10 minutes till 10. ES marked a new high of day. How's the morning so far? Anyone trading yet? NQ getting back in a session highs here. So prior day high, VWAP session low areas, like a little bit of a session low. Spring setup undercuts the low, just gets instantly absorbed back above prior day high. I mean, you basically have to eat 50 points of risk here if you want to get long right there. NQ fresh high. So I'll be keeping an eye on, like I mentioned earlier, 750. But with 6 minutes till 10, it'll still most likely be after 10 a.m. Can't imagine I'm going to be grabbing a position here before then. Mike nicely green by mistake, 2 minis instead of micros. Oh my goodness. That ends up being a very big difference. I'm glad that worked out for you. Jeez, that's scary. Yeah, after that, I'll just consider shutting it down. Start your weekend off. Closed immediately at 2 seconds. Okay, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. The worst thing you can do when you make a trading mistake is see if you can salvage it. I've been there before. Like, oh, I made a mistake. All right, well, let's just see if it works. Let's see if it pans out. No, don't let that thought creep into your mind. Close it right away. Good call. Like, ever accidentally take an entry for one reason or another? You're like, all right, well, let me just see. Nope, 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 nope. Close it. Close it. All right, we're starting to see a little more volume now. I'm patient till 10. Two minutes. Hopefully we actually get a move. What do you guys think? Nothing burger or volatility? CHF long. Not sure on that. Rich says volatility. Gabe says nothing burger. Continuation, nothing. Okay, mixed bag. One minute. Final warning. Warning has been sent. Gabe, let's go on Polymarket and make a bet out of it. Man, you can do that right here. No need for Polymarket. All right, let's see. Let's see. I'm flat going into data. I hope you are too. Okay. Is that it? Is that it? You kidding me? All right, barely an uptick in volume. So let's make sure those prints actually hit. Sometimes they're a little delayed. Yeah, I see PCE. PCE hit. Don't see MCS. There's MCS. Okay. Yeah, they both hit. All right. Nothing burger. Nothing Bergie. Good or bad data? Don't know. Don't know, don't care. Don't know, don't care. There's no edge in that for me personally. So watching 750, game plan remains the same. ES is marking new highs. What should you trade right now? Wow, that's quite a question. That depends on a lot of factors. That was like the guy yesterday asking if he should buy NQ. Live cattle futures. Yeah, you could trade lean hogs. So NQ is pushing its way through this resistance zone. You have ES coming up into 6,900. RTY catching a big lift right now. Slight improvement in volume, but not much. Right now is a waiting game. I would need some sort of pullback. So NASDAQ testing that November 12th high. Trying to clear this resistance zone. ES, you have a real test of the 6,900. Waiting game. A lot of waiting in trading. A lot of waiting. That's it for me so far. Might be it for the week if this thing just continues to drift higher. Watching GC. Yeah, I see it near that overnight high. ES bumping into the 6,900, little consolidation there past few minutes. RTY is swept overnight high. And NASDAQ continues with the drift, low volume drift. Currently, 50% is back near 750 and the overnight high. It's the spot I wanted earlier. Didn't get there. Next week, we have Jolts on Tuesday, FOMC on Wednesday. PPI on Thursday. Oh man. Yeah, next week could be solid. Get some good catalysts. Get some volume into the market. Yep, yep, yep. And then after that, honestly, after next week, let me just double check, but I would expect. Okay, so we have NFP on December 16th. CPI on December 18th. Okay, so the following week actually could be solid. And then PCE on December 19th. So next 2 weeks could be solid with economic data. Then the following week is Christmas. That's a no trade week. If you're trading the week of Christmas, what are you doing? What are you doing? Then the following week is New Year. So those 2 weeks pretty much mega slow. And then we're back Monday the 5th. So we probably have two potentially solid weeks coming up just based on the economic calendar. And then 2 weeks of basically no trading. And then we're back with the fresh year, fresh slate, baby. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This has been a pretty slow week for me. Slowest in recent memory. I don't know about you guys. How was everyone's week, broadly speaking? Same. Yeah, I mean it was a green week. We're closing on equity highs, but it's just slow, at least for my system. Slow action. Couple of days I was nicely green after the first trade. Take a second trade, it's a loser. You know how that goes. And on both of those, with both of those scenarios, the second trade ended up working. So I hit it a third time. Frustrating. Hate that sort of action. There's a support hotline for Christmas week traders. I was the president last year, Ridge. Oh man. I already know someone's gonna be trading that week, but usually it's not worth it. I would not recommend it. I won't be online. I won't be trading, won't be streaming. Y'all should do the same. Okay, playing Clash Royale while at the charts, just waiting. Mike slow and choppy. Low green weak, green but small. Yeah. Okay. Same page. A week like this, if you survive the chop, it's a win. If you followed your rules, it's a win. What else would you do when taking a break from the in-laws? Oh man, not slap up the market. I'll tell you that. Because the Christmas week, the market's going to slap you right back. Yeah, not worth. I'll probably have to log on some of these prop accounts and just hit like a one tick trade. I know Funded Next has like a crazy activity rule. It's like 7 days, 7 calendar days inactivity. They'll breach all your accounts, which is insane. That's just 1 week. Tradeify too, yeah. I don't know. Like, why do they have that? That's crazy. Well, we know why they have it. Let's be real. We know why they have it. Jacob, full porting Christmas week. Oh man, don't do it. Demonstrating on holidays? No, no, not anymore. Probably in like the first 1 to 3 years. Yeah, I hated the weekends. I couldn't wait for Monday for the market to open, but not anymore. I like the weekends. I like getting away from the screens a little bit. How's our profile looking? Let's see. Yeah, so session volume point of control is still way down there. Prior day high. Gabe, you guys need hobbies? Yes. That's what I'm saying, man. That is what I'm saying. Play some video games. My video game days are behind me. But there was a time. There was a time when you could not peel me away from that World of Warcraft. I'll tell you that. I could clear an easy 10, 12 hours on that game straight. You can always revisit. No way. Oh God, no. No, no, no. Definitely not. Definitely not. That's like taking a recovering alcoholic to a bar. Some things you don't go back to. Nasdaq little retest there, value area high. Yeah, this might just be a drift higher sort of day, clearing all that resistance. I'll give it another 10 minutes. We'll see what that first hour looks like. There's GC giving you guys the move. I don't know if anyone's still in that GC. RTY consolidating, ES consolidating. GC didn't fill you? I don't think I'm going to see another entry here. Like I said, giving it another 5 minutes here. It's just been, I mean, really keeping with the theme for this week. It's just been a couple of scalps this morning, very, very light. May as well have been a scratch day. Was looking for a little bit more of that opening drive move, potentially some continuation. Did not materialize, so we just trailed that thing nice and tight. Did not want to grab the prior day high long based on the risk profile down there. And then post 10 a.m. did not see an entry I could work with. So that might be all she wrote. We'll see. ES might be showing a rejection at 6,900. Let's see these next few minutes here. Getting to be 1 hour in. Next 30-minute bar is about to open. Get this volume just non-existent. Yeah, this looks like a good time to call it. I'll close the week there. Close it on a high note. One scalp today. Technically two, but one idea. Like I said earlier, overall, very, very slow week. Hope you guys had a good one. Expecting more volatility next week. We got some good economic data prints coming up next 2 weeks even, and then after that. So we got potentially 2 decent weeks, and then following that, pretty much 2 guaranteed weeks of slowness with Christmas and then New Year's. So just try and maximize these next 2 weeks, close the year on a strong note. Hope you guys had a good week. We'll be live on Monday. Have a great weekend. Thank you for your time today. And I'll speak with you on Monday. Take care.